Hello, welcome to When the Smoke Clears. I am the Recovery Plug. What's happening, everybody? Hope everybody's doing great today. I know my morning is going pretty good. I'm out here, out in the wilderness, man, getting my little hike on. You know what I mean? And let me just move this camera around so you guys can see the area that I'm at. Pretty cool, huh? It's out in the wilderness, and well, that's what I call it. You know, for somebody who's from the city, you know, this is wilderness for me. But it's no rainforest, that's for sure. But yeah, you know, and today I decided that, you know what, I have to get out today. You know what I mean? Today I got to get up and I got to go do something. I got to get my legs moving and go in and enjoy the outdoors. You know what I mean? And sometimes you have to do that in your journey of recovery. In spirituality, sometimes you get stagnant. You know what I mean? Sometimes you just get. I know there's one thing that I hear a lot of people say in meetings that I go to. They get bored, and some of them say that they get stuck in they don't want to leave the house, and then you know, and the last thing you want to do is isolating, because then, you know, a lot of times that leads to a lot of the stories that I hear is that they lead to just starting to, your mind starts rocking and rolling. And a lot of times it's like they start feeling sad, or they start feeling or thinking about things that they, you know, were doing in the addiction and that sort of thing. And, or whatever it is that got them bound down, they start thinking really hard on that particular subject. And when you're alone at home or wherever it is that you reside, and you start getting into that little funk, then that's a red flag. That's a red flag to say, hey, you know what? Let's get out. Even if it's just walking down the street. You know what I mean? Even if it's just walking a couple of 100 yards down the road and back. You know what I mean? You'll be amazed at what that little bit of walking, what that little bit of just moving your body starts to do for the mind. You know what I mean? Because it all works in sync, right? And if you start pumping your blood in other ways, and just a little thing such as walking. And, you know, a lot of us take for granted that we can even walk. You know what I mean? Because, you know, most of the people in this world, they can walk. And, you know, trust me, coming from somebody who couldn't walk at one point in time in his life, I couldn't walk for about 2 years. You know what I mean? And that was a pretty bad struggle. And, you know, after brain surgery, I didn't have the use of my legs. And, that was an obstacle that I had to get over, but it just goes to show you that at any time, at any moment, you could lose the functionality of the things that you take for granted. You know what I mean? And walking is one of them. You know what I mean? I mean, people just pop up out of bed and just start doing whatever, and they're not grateful for the fact that they can do that. You know what I mean? But that's one of the things that I've been doing, and one of the things that I've learned throughout the years and throughout, you know, listening to other people who have gone on this spiritual journey, or who have gone on this road of recovery and stayed there and continue to stay there. And one of the things that they do is you know, moving around and being grateful for a lot of the things that they weren't, that they didn't think they had to be grateful for. You know what I mean? And things like waking up in the morning and being grateful that you can still breathe, that you can walk, that you can see, that you can hear. You know, those are all things that we can do. Everybody, every one of us, you know, just about in the world can do that. And it's something that you do on a repetitive basis. You use all of those things every single day. As soon as you wake up, you're using it. Even when you're asleep, you're using it. And and a lot of us aren't grateful for that. You know what I mean? We or not that we're not grateful, but we just it's so automatic, so normal in a quote unquote, right? Not to sound cliched about it, but uh, it's something that you've been, however old you are, you've been using it since that time. You know what I mean? And I've been using my extremities and my senses for, gosh, I don't know, years, right? So I could say that we're all pretty good at it. You know what I mean? We're all pretty good at it in our own way. We've mastered those things, and and mastering that is no different than mastering a routine, to take a little time to go for a walk. You know what I mean? Take a little time just to sit in silence and listen, and take advantage and be grateful that you can do that. And then sit down for a while and just take in the scenery that you see, just like I have, looking at all that scenery that's here behind me, you know what I mean? And around me. And just to come out here and still be able to do that is, to me, I'm grateful for that. I'm just, it's part of my recovery. You know what I mean? It's part of my recovery, because I used to, when in the addiction, I would walk around and go from one motel to the next, or go from one bando to the next, or go from one tent community to the next, and I could care less the surroundings. I could care less of my ability to walk. You know what I mean? I could care less about the things that I could hear as I'm walking down the street. I could care less about any of that stuff. But today, man, I have, since I've been on this journey of spirituality and recovery, man, I've been doing a lot of the things that I said I was going to do when I didn't have use of my legs. When I didn't have use of my legs, I prayed, I chanted, I screamed, I cried for a lot of things to happen, for a lot of things to come into fruition. And some of them did, and some of them didn't. And I made promises. You know what I mean? I made promises that I would do certain things if I could get the use of my legs back. And, some of the things I did, some of them I didn't, and some of the things I just went along the wayside and I just forgot about it, and ultimately wound up back in the addiction. And it's so easy to get complacent, to get frustrated, to get in this little quote unquote bubble of life, of your own bubble of life. You know what I mean? And that's what a lot of us do. A lot of us do that. We float around our lives in this little quarantined bubble, invisible bubble that we call our own. And this is my space, and I don't want anybody in it. And I don't want to interact. I hate people. And, that we think like that. You know what I mean? I don't want to deal with conversation. I just want to sit here and enjoy my drink, enjoy my, smoke, whatever it is, right? Or, whatever it is that got you bound down. I just want to sit here and shop for a while, or I just want to sit here and watch porn for a minute. Whatever it is that bounds you down, you know what I mean? Everybody's got a different thing that bounds them down. And for me personally, it was drug addiction. And, I... until I decided, you know what, it's time to pop that bubble, man. And I wouldn't say that it was something that I decided on my own. It was just something that I believe that my higher power put certain things in my path, and I either was going to see the things, take advantage of the things, or just let them pass me by all the way around together, and was just too blinded to see them. And I know that has really happened for me, that in the world of addiction, when I relapsed for 5 years, and man, I had these blinders on that I didn't see anything except what was right in front of me. And today I can honestly tell you that the blinders are off. the blinders are off, and man, can I see all this stuff around me. You know what I mean? I could see all this stuff around me, and I could listen. I'm grateful that I could hear. I'm grateful that I could see. I'm grateful that I can grab things. I'm grateful that I can walk. You know what I mean? And yeah, so it's a great feeling to be able to come out to a park or the wilderness, whatever you want. You know, I'm a city guy, so though this is wilderness for me, man. And but yes, it's like just to come out here and sit in silence. I don't know if you could hear any of the surrounding sounds, but I'm going to sit here in silence, and I'm just going to start naming off things that I hear. I hear birds. I hear vehicles in the distance. I hear some music. I hear some hammering. I hear a rev of an engine. And I could just hear nothing. You know what I mean? You know what's crazy is that I'm sitting here thinking, you know, I can hear all of those things in the distance, but I see the things that I see around me right now, everything is still to me. But that nothing sound is the sound of that stillness. Does that make sense to anybody? It's crazy, but that's the sound that I focus on. That sound incorporated with the tinnitus that's in my ears, man. I got this buzzing sound in my ears that is that I've had forever and a day, ever since I left the military. And the only way I could describe that sound is having locusts in your ears. That sound that the locusts make, having that sound 24 hours a day in both ears. That's how I hear it. That's the sound that it makes, and it is. It's gotten stronger over the years, but I've learned to deal with it, right? And but nonetheless, I'm still grateful that I could hear over that sound. I could hear the stillness over that sound that's in my ears every single day, 24 hours a day. And you know, I think about it, and I'm like, what if that sound, that locust sound in my ears, got so loud that I couldn't hear anything else? You know what I mean? It's just crazy, but to sit here in stillness and just hear the silence, it's still hearing. It's still something that I believe is tangible in some way, shape, or form. You know what I mean? But it's amazing. It's amazing just to sit in silence for a little while and just not and just be grateful for the things that you can do, for the things that you do every single day, for the abilities that you have every single day, that you can channel those abilities and the energy from those abilities to positive things that you can bring into fruition in your life. You know, how amazing is that you could be able to do something like that, and you have the power to do it. You have the power to do it just like I do. You know what I mean? So don't include yourself out of this. You know what I mean? Because you're just as capable as I am. You know what I mean? If I could do it, I know definitely you can do it. So, yeah, man, I just wanted to get out here and make this video for you guys today, kind of, you know, touch base and hopefully this helps somebody. You know what I mean? Hopefully this little journey that I'm taking this morning will help somebody else out. And you know, that's the whole purpose of doing my video podcast, is to help the addict who still suffers, help anybody who's got who's in some sort of struggle or another, just to, you know, kind of get them through the day, and perhaps, you know, be that energy that allows you to take that first step into doing something different, and something positive, something productive, something spiritual. You know what I mean? Something that's that is tangible in a feeling sense of way that touches your heart, touches your soul. Because as human beings, we look for that affirmation. We look for that acknowledgement. It's just the type of species that we are, that we want to have somebody notice. We want to have somebody like us, love us. And, and if not, if we don't get any affirmation, any recognition of some sort or another, the more we close that bubble that we're in, it gets tighter and tighter. And for a lot of us, it's like you get it so tight that you don't want anybody in there. But all it takes is one beautiful action, man, to burst that bubble. You know what I mean? Whether it's from somebody else, or whether it's on your own, or whether it comes from your cosmic spiritual divinity energies, you know what I mean? And yeah, so I just wanted to share with you guys today a little adventure that I'm taking this morning. And thank you, man. Thank you for tuning into the podcast, man. I really, really appreciate it. You don't know, this is very therapeutic for me. That's why I do it, and in hopes that I help other people. You know what I mean? That's a main thing. But yeah, so again, I'm going to get myself together and get out of here and go visit my sister in the hospital. So pray for my sister, por favor. And I greatly appreciate everybody watching, and thank you. At this time, if you'd please give me a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, share my channel. I'd greatly appreciate it. It's the only way we can start helping other people, is by sharing positive things with people, and this is one of them. So I guess until the next time, when the smoke clears, I am the Recovery Plug.